vCluster Platform 4.0 has been launched, and in this video, we'll be going through how to install vCluster Platform 4.0 on AKS, as the Kubernetes service. So let's get started. So for creating the Kubernetes cluster, I'll be using ksctl. ksctl is a simple command line tool to manage clusters across different cloud providers, and it has support for Azure. So we'll be using that. ksctl create cluster Azure and give it a name of vCluster. So it gives the basic JSON that will be passed onto the cluster, like the region, default, because we haven't, but we can specify all the other things as well. For example, the CNI, the nodes, and so on and so forth, even the size. But we'll keep everything as default, and it will start creating the cluster. The cluster creation takes time, and I have already configured the credentials, which you can do via ksctl itself. So you can set the credentials, for example, the tenant ID, subscription, client ID, the client secrets. So these are the 4 things you would require from your Azure cloud account in order to create the cluster using ksctl, and you don't have to log in or go to the UI and stuff like that. So I have already set this, configured this, and now with a single command, ksctl create cluster Azure vCluster demo is in creating state. In some time it will be created, and then we'll be installing vCluster platform. Okay, so the Kubernetes cluster has been created. The next step is to get the list of clusters. So ksctl get clusters, and you can see vCluster demo is up and running. Now, in order to connect to the cluster, we'll again use ksctl command. So ksctl switch cluster provider Azure, region East US, and name vCluster demo. So let's do that. It has exported the kubeconfig here. We do that, kubectl get nodes, and we can see the node is up and running. So our Kubernetes cluster is up and running. Now, in order to install the vCluster platform, you can go get started, fill your information in, and install via CLI, and you will get to the vCluster platform installation docs. You can go to quick start guide. So the vCluster CLI I already have. The only thing that we need to do is vCluster platform start. So let's do that. vCluster platform start. It install the vCluster components and start the platform for us automatically. So let's wait for a few minutes, and then we'll create a vCluster using the UI. So vCluster platform has been installed. Let's go and log in and give a name, email, Saiyam@loft.sh. Finish it. We should see the project over here. Now it's pretty simple. We go to create a new virtual cluster, select a pro template, give it a name, demo AKS, and then create it. So it has started creating a new vCluster, which will be ready in a few seconds. This is v0.20.0 beta. In AKS, you already get a storage class by default, creates a PV. So you can see kubectl get PV 11 seconds ago it was created, and kubectl get pods -8. That's the pod that it is kind of running. So it's in the initialization phase, and you can see the pod is now running. Let's go back, and now we can connect to this using the vCluster platform connect command. And now we are actually inside the vCluster. So get pod -a. We should not have anything over here. kubectl run nginx -image nginx. Let's run a basic pod, get pods, and we can also see that in the UI. So that's pretty much it on how you can run vCluster platform 4.0 on AKS. So we use ksctl and vCluster to CLI to do that in a very easy and smooth way. So make sure to check that out. And if you have any queries and trying out vCluster Pro or any specific queries, to our Slack channel, and also subscribe to YouTube for future vCluster tips.